living in my father's house with my husband, who's like I think he broke his hand or something. He was miserable. And just like, this sucks. And my dad took me aside and he was like, honey, like, you're still a very young woman. And I couldn't hear that. I didn't believe him at all. I was like, he's like, don't worry. You still have like your whole life. You're young. You can still do so much. And I did not feel that. I felt like I was an old hag over the hill and like a total loser because I was literally homeless. And now looking back, I'm like, oh my gosh, he was so right. He was so right. Like turning 30 as a woman, I think it's harder for women. It messed with me major. Like it was really hard to do that. And then once I came to acceptance, it was like, wow, this is awesome. And my 30s are great. Like, but that something about that milestone is really hard to approach and then go through as a woman, I feel like.
Yeah, it's funny. I never felt that about 30 so much. I was actually really happy to finally make it to 30 because my 20s, I was so anxious in my 20s. It was nice to finally feel like, I don't have to worry so much anymore or something. I don't know what it was, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't love getting older, but I didn't have but I definitely had, I had it obviously because I went back to school that year. I was like, well, I have to think about my future.
Yeah.
That's what happened to me at 30.
Yeah, that took a little longer for me. Then I was like, wait a second, like I can't just have this like side, job. Like I don't want to be a 60-year-old bartender. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I just didn't want, because my body was already breaking down from
that's what it is. Like I don't think that would be fun and fine, to continue living that lifestyle, but we get tired and you want to come to bed and you want to, not be up until 2 or 3 in the morning serving drinks maybe,
Oh yeah. Yeah, like I love going to bed at like 9:30 now. I'm like, this is awesome. Yeah. And waking up at like 5:30 or 6, I'm like, I got the whole day and not being like hungover every day.
Yeah. So can I ask you questions on your own podcast?
Oh, sure. Yeah. It's a conversation.
Well, I'm curious about how Joshua Tree is for you. Because I remember when you moved there, I think you were living there already when I saw you in Brooklyn. Were you?
We had just bought our house.
Okay.
But we hadn't moved here yet. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How's it going?
Yeah.
You love it.
It's great. I love it. And I loved LA. I wanted to live there my whole life. But oh my God, there's quality of life out here so much better, just there's space. We're not living like in Hollywood. We had a duplex and we lived on top, and then another family lived underneath, and it was like we were just right on top of each other, and then the houses were all close together. And here it's like there's just space. Like I can kind of see my neighbor, not really,
There's a lot of
and yeah, there's a lot of space, and there's nature. Like every day I go outside, there's like bunnies and lizards and quail, and it just feels really good to be close to nature. Which who knew that was a thing for me? I'm city girl 100%, but I love it. And at night,
healing for
the stars. Yeah. So there's a lot of good to it. I remember one time when we first moved here, Greg was sitting outside on the porch and he was just looking out at the mountains. And he said, I see how someone could write a book because I just sit around and think about things here. Yeah. So it's great. And it's also nice because even though we live in a small place, there's so many artists and musicians. And so we don't feel like we live in the middle of nowhere. There's a lot of, art happening around us all the time.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I mean, you hear about Joshua Tree. I hear about it all the time. And I feel like I know a handful of people that have moved there that are.
Well, because you can still afford to buy a house here as opposed to LA. I don't ever think about moving back to LA. In fact, every time we have to go there for like a recording session or something, we're always like, how fast can we get out of here? Because it's very stressful. There's the traffic getting through people.
LA sucks. Yeah. LA is, I've been here in Portland for now, we've been here 9 months, but I've been here steadily for the last 4 months. And I leave my apartment and I like walk, 5 minutes and I'm in a forest.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. There's tons of musicians here, and the mentality is so different than LA. Like LA's got this mentality of like, kind of like, who do you know? What have you done? That kind of thing. And no one's about that here.
Yeah, everyone moves to LA to make something of themselves. And so everything's about that. Like, what can you do? How can you help me make something of myself, kind of, And when you leave there, you realize, whoa, that's not normal. It's not a normal mindset.
There's other things in life. Yeah. Like we can still make music out here and have a lot of fun. And it's not everything that we do. And I often felt like it had to be your identity or something in LA, if that makes sense. Right.
Oh yeah, totally.
As opposed to like, it's just one of the many things that I do.
Yeah, and I kind of find that fun when I see people that are like musicians, but they also do a whole bunch of other things, like maybe they're professors or therapists or whatever it is. It's good to be a well-rounded human,
Yeah, and have fun and enjoy, what you do. And I don't like the idea of doing anything full time, to be honest. Like I can't even imagine if I was a full-time musician, I would be bored. I feel like, can I do something else with my life too?
Yeah, that's why when I realized I didn't like acting. Well, it wasn't that I didn't like acting, but I thought, oh, maybe I want to act in TV and stuff. And I realized I don't like those hours. So, I don't want to have to do anything for more than like 6 hours tops in a day. I don't want to get there at 5 and leave at like 10. I like 10 at night. I don't want to do that.
I'm with you 100%. It's nice to have flexibility in how you work and then like the ability to do a few different things. That's totally important for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, how can our listeners connect with you? What's the best way?
That's a good question. Probably through Instagram. My Instagram is Moushumi Ghose, MOUSHUMIGHOSE. I should probably make it easier Instagram. Anyway, and
I like it.
We have, they can also go through our music Instagram, which is Ghosha Official, GHOSHA Official.
Cool.
And those are probably the easiest ways.
And how would you describe your music for people out there so they get a sense of it?
I would say that it's definitely post-punk inspired. Sometimes with hard rock guitar riffs and sometimes with more electronic sounds. Sometimes both.
All the good stuff. And so just going and connecting with you, is that the best way they can support you? Is there any other way they can support you?
Yeah, that's the best way. I'm kind of like drawing a blank right now because I've done so many projects in my life and right now I'm kind of in between projects. But yeah, I would definitely say if you want to go support our music, you can buy our music at gosha.bandcamp.com. In fact, we are currently donating all proceeds to NAACP to fight racism. So
awesome.
That's kind of the best way you can support us right now is by buying our music.
Cool. Well, it has been so fun seeing you and talking to you. Hey. Thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you for having me, Cooper. So great to chat with you and talk to you after all these years.
Mo was such a great guest, wasn't she? She had excellent insights. Here are some key takeaways from our conversation. Being an artist isn't necessarily about commercial success. It's about creating art that you feel passionate about and that feels important to put out into the world. And if you do that, you will have some form of success. I really believe that. Number 2, you need money to create art. We've all heard the myth of the starving artist, which is very romantic. But the truth is, when you're starving as an artist, you're spending way too much of your time focusing on things like where you're going to get food, where you're going to sleep. And that takes away from time that you could be creating. So it's really important to find a way to make enough money so that you can spend your time creating the art that you want to put out into the world. Number 3, there is no final destination when it comes to creating art. So do what you like and just keep doing it. There is no end goal. You never, quote, make it. You're always still striving for the next level of your artistic creation, your artistic ability, your success, whatever it is. And number 4, we get better every year. We like to put all these false time limits on ourselves, which just are made up, fake. They're not true. So embrace where you're at and, keep going on your journey. Thanks so much for listening, everyone. I'm so grateful for all of you. I really am. You guys are getting me through quarantine big time. I know there are hundreds of podcasts out there, and I feel so honored that you chose to listen to mine. You can view the show notes and the links to everything that was mentioned in this episode at my website, which is girlpod.com. GXRLPOD.com. And if you enjoyed today's conversation, please subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, leave us a review, and maybe share it with someone who you think might enjoy it. Mo was gracious enough to share one of her songs with us. It's called Cities, and it's by her band Gosha, and I'm going to leave you with that. Until next time.